Yo, we are live. Welcome to my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews, where I'm going to give my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. Not gonna happen this video, sorry y'all. One of these days I will get it. Actually, I did. If you go watch my Bell Collective, surprisingly, I did watch my mouth. So, but this video, absolutely not. Now, if you look over to there, I got a special guest who is my co-host. She's not a guest. This is home for her. But y'all shout it out for my girl, Mrs. Best, aka my girl, Amina.
Hello.
Yes, and if you watched, or if you look at the screen, we are recapping MTV's Couple Retreat, Season 3, Episode 4. So this was a pretty busy episode, y'all. So we got quite a few things to cover. My bars are going down, so hopefully I do not mess up in this live like I did last live.
Yes. They
I
have
sound
crazy
clear?
weather where he is at, but I can hear and see him
Yes.
clearly. Hopefully others can as well.
I hope so too, because yeah, I apologize, you guys. Florida is on some bullshit right now. The weather is crazy. So yes, I am so sorry, but we're gonna try to get through this as quick as we can. I know that I am early on this live. I scheduled it for 9:15 and 9 o'clock. We both have stuff to do, so we're trying to get this done and get it over with. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the episode. So on this episode, they brought in kind of like a medium psychic, if you will, kind of situation. They went horseback
Body
riding. It was a
language lady. She was
Oh yeah, body language. I was gonna say she was. I know she was something esque. Like she had some kind of, you know, intuition that was kind of phenomenal. So I enjoyed her actually. So one of the things I wanted to kind of touch on as far as couples wise and how she kind of interacted with most of them, I loved how she asked the question to Kendra. She said, Kendra, when are you going to stop punishing young Jock for the
mm,
decisions that he made? And I felt two ways about that. I'm gonna ask you a question in a minute, but I felt two ways about that. One, I feel like one, she should have never married him, but two, he shouldn't be cheating. So it's like, yeah, we need to hold some accountability, but I think that they both should share blame in that. I don't think that it should only be on Kendra. So I was kind of feeling a little bit of ways about that. So to kind of ask my first question, how did you feel about the body language expert asking Kendra that question?
I'm a psych major and that's a legit science, body language. So I was actually happy to see things like that put on television because body language can do a lot to change our moods and impacts our schemas and other stuff. I won't get into the psychology of it. So I liked it. I did think the reaction of the couples was funny. I could tell they weren't feeling it at first, but
Hmm.
then that lady, what was it, with Fat Boy and Tiana, she was like, lean your head to the left and look at each other, and that girl could not stop giggling. So I mean,
And I
it
have an opinion about that too. So yeah, we're gonna get to them. I just want to start with Young Jock and Kendra and get them out the way
yeah.
because they
But
some
the
bullshit.
body language expert with Jock and Kendra, I don't know. Jock and Kendra to me, I don't think there's anything that any of these people on the show can say to get Jock and Kendra to stop being the way that they are. It goes back to what you said. She should have never married him, should have never accepted the ring, even. Um, but she did it anyway. And now it's like she's crying about things that she knew would happen. And then with Jock, I get the feeling that he he might be ready to be past all the BS, but with his history, like I can't trust him, and I'm not even with him, and I don't know that man, and I can't trust him. So I don't know.
I'm gonna
They
say this. I'm gonna say this because her response to the well, Jock, I have a lot of issues. When my dad died, her in that situation, which that's a very sad, touch and go situation. I know that's hard to even speak about. In terms of how that can factor into your relationship. But when she said that, she wished that she would have spent more time with her dad versus always chasing around Jock. I kind of felt like she was using Jock as a scapegoat to kind of factor in that responsibility that she didn't take the initiative to be there with her father, which Kendra, that was messed up.
And if she had actual trained people there, they would have caught that and addressed it. Because she obviously, when you lose somebody, that's awful. I, for the first time, lost someone close to me last year, and it's been a year, and it still feels new. So
Yeah.
that showed me that the things that they state about grief in terms of those stages of grief and how many years it lasts and the way that it changes people, I definitely am more empathetic to it and understand it. I feel like all the stuff that happened with him, in addition to the stuff happening with her dad in the timeline, is probably making it harder for her to let go of some of the things that he did. I also think that because her dad is not here anymore, that it's more that could be a piece of why she's staying in the marriage. Because if she leaves him and then gets married again, who will walk her down the aisle? You know, so it
I
doesn't
feel,
excuse her behavior
yeah.
though.
I feel like it doesn't excuse her behavior, but at the same time, I get what you say about grieving. I get what you say about that. But to hold someone personally accountable
Mhm.
for a decision that you made, I felt like that's a little bit more than just punishing him. I feel like that was messed up. Like I was not on Kendra's. I wasn't on Jock's side either, but I sure wasn't on Kendra's
I
side.
get
'Cause I
what you're
was like,
saying because my dad and me, if something were to happen to my dad, like if I were to find out, and I'm knocking on wood on the screen because I love my dad, but if
mhm.
something were to happen to my dad as our parents get older, and my husband does music and travels and stuff, so I'm like, sorry. I definitely would not be following him to go to shows and doing stuff. Like, honestly, your spouse would be like, why don't you go spend more time with
Right.
your dad? So they're
Exactly.
both wrong in that. You can't blame him because you're a grown ass woman and
Mhm.
he may be a cheat, but he's not controlling or abusive. So if your dad was ill and was older, that's on you to go see him. No one can stop you from doing that. So I definitely did not like that. And I'm glad you brought it up.
No, because when I was watching it, it really triggered me because I've seen that before where you have people who blame the person they're with for why they did not decide to do something. And I just want to let people know who are watching, you are not fully obligated to one person to where if a family member falls ill, especially a parent, for the reason you being here today, there is no you should never be with somebody that tells you you can't go see your sickly parent. Not saying
Mhm.
that Jock did that, but that's what Kendra made up in her mind. And that's what I want people to understand. Kendra made up in her mind that her father was not that much of a priority, that she rather fall behind Jock than to go see him. And that's kind of what she was saying.
And then you have to wonder, why are you so why do you feel like you have to go follow behind this man?
That was another thing. I was like, exactly like, so it's just, it's once again. I said this in her live, which I will definitely be putting the link in because y'all got to watch that. But what I'm saying is that that just goes to show like she really does not have common sense. She does not have common sense at all. She's a smart girl, very smart girl.
I think she's
Probably,
spoiled. I think it's common sense, and I also think she's spoiled from her daddy, her mama, being the
probably.
child that became a juris doctor. That's an incredible accolade. So I definitely feel like, we see stuff like that, especially in the Black community. You have a child that goes to college, gets it right, and does that. They're
Hmm.
spoiled, especially in the South if you somebody's daughter. So I definitely feel like Kendra is a bit spoiled. And I feel like a big piece of their issues, separate from the cheating, it seems to be like, it doesn't seem like she does good when she doesn't get things her way. That also doesn't seem like she does that well with change.
Would change. I was going to say
Yeah.
that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was, it was a good observation as far as that whole interlude because I felt like no one was ever going to ask her this question, but then I felt like at the same time I understood both sides of it. I understood, Kendra and what she was saying, but at the same time you chose to marry this man.
The
And
other
you
thing
needed
I
to
want to
come.
say about Jock, just to add something, is I feel like to men out there, like, here's the thing: there's always like women. people more often than not, like if a woman sleeps with a bunch of people, we're labeled a hoe or a thought or something, one of those terms. But then you have men like Jock, and people like to be like, "Oh, but men don't get labeled it." No, they do, and they should. I don't care what no man says. It's unfortunate. You can change. Yes, all people are capable of changing, but you have to think of how people are perceiving you. And what I think is an issue with Jock, and this is why I don't feel bad for him, you have, like we've talked about in the previous video, you have cheated on every woman that you've ever been with, and not just cheating in reckless ways to where you're making a baby on someone. He thinks that because he was on a break from his relationship with Kendra, that makes it okay to get someone else pregnant. If you're on a break with someone, or even if you guys were fully broken up, are you that irresponsible that you're going to go and put your tillywhacker into somebody with no type of protection? You can afford probably things that regular men can't afford to keep from getting someone pregnant. Yeah, he continues to do it. And then this is the thing with Kendra. Of course, people are going to look at you like you're dumb to have gotten with him, because a man with that track record, yes, people can change, but don't don't put yourself at risk trying to figure out if this man has changed. Like, it does not, it just doesn't make sense. Men who have a track record, he's shown the world who he is. Everyone believe him. Don't go getting with men who's got 9 different baby mamas, 9 different kids, and has never been faithful. Same thing with Cynthia Bailey and Mike Hill. He cheated on her.
Because
Mister, I
the
cheated on
warning
you.
signs was all there. Yeah.
Yeah, he's similar to Jock, because he's someone who had cheated on everyone that he had been with, and
Right.
then it took him a while, but he eventually did it. It's like these men want to be better, but there's something in them that they have to work on. And I personally would like to see Jock and Kendra split up. I'm
Mhm.
over it. I think they both need to work on themselves individually.
Okay, so speaking of splitting up, since you said that, I'm going to go ahead and move on to Miss Fallon over there and Mr. Jalen, because
Oh Lord.
Fallon revealed something that I had said in the the first review we did of this show. But from their perspective of this, they have a kind of a meetup with AJ, and they are talking amongst their issues of what happened between them. And this is where this man reveals that he's taking care of all these people,
Mm-hmm.
and it's taking a toll on him. AJ asked Fallon something that was very interesting, and she asked Fallon, "Do you like men?
Mm,
Not that you want to be with a man, but do
right.
you like men?" And Fallon said no. And AJ's suggestion was, well, do you think you two should be together? And before we reveal the answers, because I think they both kind of had the same, initial answer, what did you feel about AJ's question to Fallon? Because I thought it was a highly interesting question to ask her.
I thought that it was spot on, and it was one of the few things AJ has done that I agreed with. I thought it was spot on. I was like, okay, all right, she gets it. She's paying attention, and that's so important as the leader of this group and this show. It definitely shows. Fallon's every episode, she has complained about Jalen not wanting to spend time with her, but in the area of when he's trying to spend time with the men. But if it's going out in a group, because if you look at the footage when they show them like out and partying, he's never holding her hand or with them when they're out. So it's like, if you want to spend time with him while you're out, why don't you go over to him, try and kick it,
So you think
something.
she should make the initiative?
If you want, if I want my husband to spend time with me, right? If I'm
Mhm.
like, he's a video gamer or something, we don't have these issues, but if he's like playing the game too much or doing too much on his phone or something, like, a closed mouth don't get fed. I'm gonna let him know. I'm gonna be like, "Hello, I am here. Can I get some time?" And then if he doesn't give it to you after that, then fine. But closed mouth don't get fed. You gotta, at least, in my opinion, make the effort. Is what I'm saying.
Mhm.
She keeps complaining, "Oh, he's not spending time with me. He's not spending time with me," but then staying and sitting in a corner to herself or throwing a fit. at the end of the night when he doesn't want to come with her. It seems like if you notice the trend, she always asks him at the end of a night, "Hey, do you want to go watch a movie or something?" You've been with this man for hours and you know that your assignment has been to try separating. So your opportunity to spend time with him is when you're in a group setting and you're not taking advantage of that, but then you're getting mad at him.
It scares to me because she did admit that she has not grieved her marriage to Simon. She did admit that, which we all knew that going into this. I don't know why we was even questioning that. We know she didn't grieve that marriage because it was so sudden, and then the way that it ended, it was like it was literally someone ripped the rug and she fell on her head. It literally was that. So what I'm going to say about Fallon is that because she has this tendency to want this like picture perfect white picket fence life. I don't know who sold you that dream, but nobody has that.
Nobody.
Nobody has that. Not one single couple in this world has it. You know what couples have, Fallon? Couples have their own identity of perfect. They may not have a white picket fence. They may have a silver wire one. They may not have a nice, four two-story house. They may just have a single hut. They may not have all of the quantities that marriage brings them, but they have constant work. And that is what marriage is. Marriage is constant work. It is not always beauty and glamour and look at what I have to show for it. Because I'm gonna tell you, if you ask most married people, they would want no one to see them at all.
Yes, that is correct.
So she irritates me with this idealistic of her wanting to have this, and I'm like, ma'am, this does not exist. And I wanted someone to tell her that instead
I,
of
I
just saying like,
think that I think that Fallon knows it doesn't exist. I think what she's looking
I
for.
don't.
I do. I think that there's a lot that she does and a lot of choices she makes that obviously come from a lack of maturity and obviously
That
issues.
is a lot of delusions of grandeur.
So, but I
If we
feel
is
like
really,
Fallon, she knows what she's doing to an extent. That lady, in my opinion, for lack of better words, seems like she reminds me of like a Marlo or a Portia. She get with who got the money because to me it looks like she's looking for somebody to take care of these kids.
you know
In
what?
my
Yeah, yeah,
opinion,
she is looking
because
for
we
that. But
found
I
out
think
that I'm thinking the whole time she's covering Jalen, but he was speaking about how he's financially covering her and her
mhm.
tribe of people in the house. So I was like, oh, he's paying for everything, and you're sitting around, and then you're complain. I'm just like the whole situation. I feel like she wants to go where and will choose men that are able to financially support her and willing to financially support her and her entire
And
family.
this is where, and I'm glad you brought that up because I almost forgot about that. Fallon, this man was your assistant. This man was
Right.
your assistant. This man was not the a six-figured, salaried or inherited or whatever the fuck how someone got his money. This is not the same thing. I want you to be very clear. That is a lot of pressure to put on somebody to not only take care of your three kids, but your two sisters, a parent or somewhere. I believe in. I can't remember if they said parent or not,
You
but
did.
okay, a parent, all of that. That is a lot. And then y'all baby on top of that. That is a lot to put on one person.
Why would she? I hate to say this. I hate to say this, but why she keeps saying, and then we had this baby. Why weren't you on birth control?
Because that baby was intentional.
Like, no,
Yes, she didn't have that baby was
on
intentional.
her
That baby
end.
was on her end, yes. That baby was
Yes.
intentional because she realized she couldn't have the baby with Simon. Because somewhere along the line tells me that Simon got a vasectomy, allegedly. I don't know if he did. I don't
Her
know.
kids aren't with Simon. I
Huh?
know she has different baby daddies, but
No,
none of
she doesn't have a kid with Simon. Yeah, she doesn't have a kid with Simon. That's the thing. So yeah,
so
that's why I'm saying I'm not like, and this was the insurance right here. I don't think she accidentally got pregnant. I think that whatever potential she saw in Jalen, whatever he does now, where it probably isn't enough, considering he has to take care of a whole bunch of other mouths. I think that she was banking on that, and that is a scary thing. That is a scary thing to put somebody through that. Like, honestly, I could
To
never.
put a 23-year-old through that
Yes,
as a woman past
because
30 is like
because
predatory.
what she's doing simultaneously is that he's going to grow into his 30s resenting women, because we know they're not going to be together. So they're not together now. So he's going to grow. If he doesn't get intensive therapy, he's going to resent women. He really is. He's going to
Yeah,
resent
because she
women
trapped him.
in a huge way, where
She
all
trapped
women are going to pay for what Fallon did.
him. Mhm.
That's how that always works. And I want Jalen, if you watch him, VH1 in the call center. If y'all is letting Jalen see this video, Jalen, go get some therapy,
No,
because
for real. You were
don't let
definitely taken
Fallon,
advantage
yeah,
of.
don't let Fallon's ways and what she did really make you resent women, to think that women are going to want something from you, because that all women are coming to the table doing what just did. Not
Yeah,
all, and then Fallon, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
she should. Because
You
I
ought to
think
be ashamed.
regardless of whatever trauma she's had as a child, that doesn't, if
Hmm.
anything, that should make you more empathetic to someone younger and like him.
Exactly.
And I think that's why AJ asked her in front of him. I think AJ knew the answer to the question, but wanted to ask the question in front of Jalen so that he could see and understand that this is not a healthy or safe space for you to be in terms of a relationship. Because at first I was like,
Exactly.
why is she telling them to separate? That's very rare that a professional of any sort, life coach, therapist, you name it, it's very rare that a professional is going to actively say verbatim, you guys need to break up or you guys need to separate. So I'm like, why is she saying that? And to see, like, you don't like men, so stop dating them. Something about Fallon, I still stand by that. I feel like half of it with her is issues from the past, lack of maturity, all of that. And I feel like the other half of it is people. I think she's smarter than we all might give her credit for and knows what she's doing to some extent. Not with all the emotional
It's
stuff.
just she picked
Right?
the wrong man to do it to. That's
Yeah,
just
she
what it
picked the
is.
wrong guy
She
to
picked the
do it.
wrong guy to do it. I get
But
what you're
I
saying.
think
Yeah.
she knows what the hell. That girl's not as innocent as we all think. Just like Portia was not as innocent
I never
as
thought Portia was innocent. I thought
I
Portia knew
never
exactly
did
what
too.
she.
But some
Yeah.
people were sitting there like, oh my god, when that whole thing broke with Portia and Simon Gabadia, people acted surprised.
I
True
wasn't.
Housewives fans,
Yeah.
true
We
fans
knew.
of Portia, we know the bop the girl can be. That's all I'm gonna say. Um,
Yeah. Let's okay. So now that you already talked about the whole them wanting to join, she wanting him to join her and start hanging out with the guys. I'm not gonna go into that because that's stupid.
it's
So
stupid. It's the
it's
same thing
stupid. I'm
we
not.
see
It's the
in
same
every
thing. We've been
episode.
talking about this. We spend too much time on them. Moving on. So I want to touch base on Tony and Fat Boy's conversation,
Oh, that
because
was a good combo.
yeah, that was a good combo, because Tony clocked it right away, and I just wanted to kind of get your opinion, because I said this about Jock, and then I said simultaneously Fat Boy is going to do the same thing. Now, what I did not know is that Tiana met him through a DM. I did not know that. I did not know.
I thought they knew each other.
No, they did not know each other. So basically, to explain the situation, Tiana got mad about him responding to women in his DMs on IG. And the reason why she was mad is because at some point before they were married, she was one of those girls. And Tony basically said, because Fat Boy's reaction was to blow up and get angry, and he told Tony this. Tony was like, "You know why you angry like that? It's because you're guilty."
Hmm.
And I
I
said,
loved it.
"Boom!" I
Yeah.
said, "That is, oh, you are so spot on, because that is exactly what men do when they are caught in their own fuck shit. Is they blow up, they get angry because they're caught. It's like when you were a kid and your mom catches you with something, you're gonna throw a tantrum because you are caught." And my whole thing was this. I have two things about this. One, Tiana, Tiana. I forgot that girl's name already. Tiana, I think it's Tiana. Why in the hell would you ever slide in someone's DMs and think that you would be the only one simultaneously marrying this man and he not continuing that same pattern and cycle?
It's like what Monique said to Jocelyn in the earlier reunions. Women forget the same way you catch them. It's the same way you'll
The
lose
same
them.
way you lose them.
It's the
See,
exact same
if
way.
he was serious about you, he would give up Instagram and find another way to make money.
Yeah. He has 5.7 million followers, there's a lot that he could do to make her feel secure. He could hire a social media manager so that he's not the one handling it.
Exactly.
He could delete it and make a different one. He could give her
Or yeah, that's
password or access on her
no, don't give her
device.
that because I think that that doesn't solve anything. I think
It
that
doesn't, but
honestly,
I'm just he
I
has
think that
options.
no, he has options, but the big one, the only option I feel like that is a huge solution for them is for him to delete the social media and find another way to make money. You got that far. Why not continue?
See, I think that that's the thing that's hard about social media. Is there, if you just, for him in his situation, I do get why he wouldn't drop it, because if he drops it, then he's got to hope that his music works, and you make way less money, especially with these streaming apps and stuff with
Well,
music.
as I said, find a new way. There's
But
always
this
there's
is why I say people have to be careful who you get with, and make sure you have a
mhm,
backup plan to your backup plan, because a lot of these people getting into social media don't have nothing to fall back on, not a
right.
degree, not manager experience, not a, like nothing. And they don't have the, and some of those people who have nothing to fall back on don't have the education or knowledge to do or work in certain fields. So it's like, what would he do? I do get it, because it might be hard for him, but she can't, in my opinion, though that's the best solution, I don't think it's a fair one, because you met him through his social media. So
It
now
isn't
he has to
fair.
give up what was there
It's
before
not it
you.
yeah, it's
I
not fair.
yeah,
It's absolutely not fair. It's not fair, but at the same time, the issues are continuing.
yeah,
So part of being married is you have to sacrifice.
yeah. That's true. That's
And
true.
if you love this woman, you will find a different way.
Or she could. That's the other. I feel like the only way there would be for him to get off social media. If people know you through him now, then why don't you make some shake with yours so that y'all could still make that money in those fields that work for you, and he don't have to do anything.
Yeah, he could just
There's
become her manager.
options,
Yeah, there's options. Yeah, there definitely is
but
options, but I feel like they
people,
don't I feel like he's not gonna want to give up. Once you've had that kind of money in your fingertips when you one of us, unfortunately, they're not gonna want to give that up. So
yeah.
we're beating a
I
dead horse with
honestly,
them too.
I feel like either way, what he does, if he does, if the social media gets gone, I feel like that'd be the thing to either fix things or end the relationship. Because I think what people forget in relationships sometimes is, even though we have to make sacrifices, you got to be careful in how you choose to sacrifice, because if that sacrifice causes someone to resent you regardless of the reason, it's just going to really, really not work. With those two, if I had to say ideally, I think they just need to break up.
I agree. No, I'm not saying they should stay
Yeah,
together, but no,
they're
because
too young.
I think the pavement's already been laid with them. I just think that they just trying to stay stuck in the cement, and I ain't got time for them to. I just
Yeah.
don't have time
But
for them
she,
to
the DM
because
wasn't even anything. It was just a
it
girl
wasn't. Yeah,
messaging. I was expecting them to be like, "Oh, she called
I
him
was expecting to see
daddy,"
an
or
inappropriate body part at
yeah,
that point. Yeah, like
something.
I was expecting to see way more, and I just feel like
It's like if
that
women
one.
can't even message him, then
Yeah,
they need to break up.
yeah, I agree. So moving
Honestly,
on.
all these couples need to break up.
Yeah,
I'm
they
sorry.
all do. I don't see not one of them staying together past year 5. Well, I guess let me speak. Let me kind of back up because the next couple I'm going to talk about have been married 20 years, and
That don't mean shit.
that don't mean nothing to me because I feel like they're just delusional, both of them. So we're talking about Ronnie and Shabari for those who have not figured it out. So they were asked in kind of a almost like she knew the answer, but they once again to put them on blast. Do you feel that your marriage will suffice, sexually or something to that extent? It was something. It's something about sexually, pleasuring both of them. Shamari said yes, absolutely, but Ronnie said no, as I knew he would.
He's not sexually satisfied, Ronnie.
No, 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 no. That's
No.
not what he was saying. What Ronnie was saying was he doesn't think he can pleasure her. And for those who are lost in the sauce, is that these two, excuse the siren in the background, these two had a threesome at one point in their marriage. And what happened was a situation that I felt was going to benefit Ronnie, at least in his mind, actually ended up benefiting Shamari because she enjoyed it more. And what ends up happening is that she cannot stop this thought process of women. So when we see her on Real Housewives of Atlanta slapping girls on they, I can't say that word, private part. I'm just gonna say it like that, and slapping them on their ass and trying to kiss them and stuff. That's really her acting out this want to be, pleasured by women. So he was answering that question based on that experience. And that's how I look at that. So when she says yes, I don't think that she doesn't get pleasure. I don't think that she does not get pleasure from him, but I feel she is really just biting her tongue on saying
You froze, buddy. Give him a second, everyone. To those watching, give us a couple of minutes. James is in Florida and they're having some issues with weather, but he should be back shortly. And we do appreciate you for watching.
all right, and I am back, y'all. Sorry about that.
Hey.
I am back. Sorry about that, you guys. Weather is crazy here, so connections are getting lost everywhere. So, what were we talking about before we were rudely interrupted by internet?
Tony Gaskins' conversation with Fat Boy, I believe. I
We
believe.
were at the no, we are Ronnie and Shamari. I
Yeah,
remember.
Ronnie and Shamari. What the hell?
Yeah, we were Ronnie and Shamari.
I'm
So we were
tired
talking about
today.
the question that there was about the sexual pleasure stuff. So to piggyback on, because I think I remember where I was. So what I was saying was, as I feel that they sexually are not in tuned, and I feel like it's been that way since that girl entered the situation.
Oh
And
yeah,
I
I do think that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I said this from day one, and I say this again. I don't care about this situation. I do not care about this little girl and them and this whole situation because it's stupid at this point. If y'all do not either divorce or quit bringing this up, stop going on reality TV talking about the same thing. I'm telling you, I'm just going to fast forward their scenes going forward. If they bring this up one more time, I'm going to fast forward their scenes. I'm not going to talk about them no more because this is redundant at this situation at this point in time. What are we even talking about?
Yeah, I agree. I'm over Ronnie and Shamari to where I
Yeah,
don't
I'm
really
over.
have much to say because what I have to say is the same flipping thing from the prior week before. I'm over it. It's three. Look, we've been watching this since season one. I am over it. I'm over it. I'm over it. I'm tired.
Exactly.
I'm
Now
tired.
moving on. Yeah, let's move on because I ain't got time. Uh, Apollo and Shireen, because when they were getting the were they getting hypnotized or is that hypnotherapy?
It was body. I, they did go to hypnotherapy.
Yeah, it was
That
hypnotherapy.
was
That's what I.
the week prior.
Okay, we didn't talk about it on your channel. Okay, because I was trying to figure out was it this week's episode? Sorry, y'all, my notes are all over the place. So I felt okay. That was last week they did that. Okay, so Apollo and Shireen. I ain't gonna even touch on that.
They give
Moving
nothing.
on. They give nothing.
They give
There's no
nothing.
point. There's no point in them.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about Breezy and Chris because I had mentioned it in our last live, and I'm going to say it on this one because they are LGBT couple. I'm not going to go through all of the abbreviations. LGBT is where I'm stopping. So because they are a couple amongst a whole bunch of straight people, it's hard to really diagnose their issues because to the average heterosexual couple, the issues that they do have will seem minute and minuscule, and there's no such thing when you are in a relationship because what's big to you may be big to whoever else in the world that is going through that same thing. So their issue is that I feel that Breezy thinks she's a know-it-all. We see it throughout the entire episode where she's always helping one of the other couples and not really helping her situation. And that's because I think Breezy comes across as a know-it-all.
Mhm.
And when you're in a relationship with a know-it-all, it's kind of hard to find your voice. And I think that's Chris's problem. But one of the things I did like about this episode was her clocking AJ on this. Is that I feel like instead of you trying to really help us, you were trying to pinpoint a specific issue that had nothing to do with this TV show. And that's the smoking. Instead of
I
you
didn't like
addressing
that either. I think that's someone's choice to smoke. It's not
absolutely.
unless they've asked for help with smoking. Mind yours.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you AJ was trying to find something. And if she was really in tune with them, and that's why I said I don't think they need an LGBT representative on this show. Because the fact that they do not have one, I feel like that's why they're skating under the radar as much as they are. Because a lot of people are confused. Like I watch other YouTuber reviews, and a lot of them are confused on why they're even here. And I say that's because no one really can figure it out because they don't have that representation there.
I think they're here because the show invited them to be there and they're a couple. I don't for any second I think that every couple has issues, obviously, but with couples retreat and how they cast, I don't think every couple here is here because they're like, let's get help with our issues. No. Somebody working in production went to their manager and said, hey, would you like to come on this show? This is what will happen. And that happened. I think that's a part of why Breezy is kind of reacted the way she is. I think the other piece of it is if you're going to have a same sex couple on a show or a couple that's part of the LGBTQ community, because now there's all these different ways and of being together. Like if people are who are a part of that community are going to be brought on a television show, it is irresponsible to not bring someone on the show who is also a licensed therapist or life coach that can address them. I don't have to be gay or lesbian to understand that their experiences are not the same as my experiences in my heterosexual relationship. They're just not the flipping same. I think that it's difficult because even though gay rights and things are making progress in some parts of America. In most of the country, there's still a lot that's not happened. It's still frowned upon. There's still stigmas. There's still judgments, especially in the South. So I feel like that's definitely irresponsible, a little insulting to that community too. When you look at shows like Marriage Boot Camp, for instance, on WeTV, they for many years had a female therapist and a male therapist. Why? Because females relate better to females and men relate better to men. They do that for heterosexual people, but not for people in the gay community, which makes no sense. So it's like, yeah, they have no purpose on the show. They have no point, and we're all confused on why they're there because they should not be there without the proper representation. That was irresponsible.
Absolutely, because
Yeah.
they're grasping. AJ is grasping at straws when it comes to this couple, and I feel like it's wrong, and then it makes you kind of feel like you brought them on here for your own, stigmas and wants of representing all kind of couples, and I think that that's kind of
They
reckless of you to
checked
do.
the demographic box. That's
Yeah,
quite literally what it is.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And see, in MTV, I don't want to have to do you like I do Bravo, because Bravo is guilty of this shit as well. But I don't have to do y'all like I do Bravo, but I will.
Mm.
I don't next season. I don't want any more Love and Hip Hop couples. I don't want any WeTV couples. I don't want any more Bravo couples. I want y'all to get actual couples that are going through actual issues that are not represented in the show that they were on, if you so choose to get somebody from reality TV.
I think that's a good idea because, no disrespect, especially to the love and hip hop couples, joke. Every time people get together on that show, they go like, "Oh, this wedding, like Erica and Safari." I knew that wouldn't last. You cannot. The way these people behave on TV, it seems to be the way they behave in their relationships, which leads me to not even take them seriously because I don't
Hmm.
take serious what I know ain't gonna last.
And what's crazy is all these people have serious issues.
Yeah, like
That's
individual.
just that's just individually, and
Mhm.
that's where y'all miss the mark every time with these kind of shows. Is that individually these people need therapy
Yeah. Well,
individually.
usually on many couple shows, like I believe, what was that show? Was that VH1
They
years
had
ago?
that couples therapy show
Their
on
couples
VH1 with
therapy.
it, and they
They
made them do
did
individual therapy.
individual
They did, yes,
sessions
they did.
just as often as they did group sessions because anyone licensed knows that that is the correct way of going about it. But MTV is very smart, and so is VH1, their sister networks, because hey, that's why they called the other one couples therapy with Dr. Jen and actual doctors, and this has to be called couples retreat because no one is actually getting any form of real
So, Dr. Jen,
therapy.
wherever you are in this world, come back to reality TV, please, because we miss you. Because she was spot on her shit too,
Yeah,
like Dr. Ish.
I
And
feel like they're trying to, or bring Dr. Ish. They need
no,
someone.
Dr. Ish, they can't conflict in contract like that. They ain't gonna bring Dr. Ish on
Oh
here.
yeah,
Where was the other doctor, the Dr. V lady? No, yeah, I didn't really care for her, but she wasn't
but they
wrong.
need to. I definitely think that if you're going to do a show, because a couples retreat is kind of where you go with other couples to kind of reflect on good. You don't really get too deep in a traditional couples retreat.
Hmm.
These fools got these people talking about childhood traumas. Some of them hate men. Some of them didn't heal from their marriage. Some of them is controlling. Some of them was locked up. These are not things that a life coach can help with. They just cannot. Not a couple. Individually, fine. And even then, life coaching is like, eh. But as couples, I don't think that I still stand by that. AJ can't help them. Even Tony Gasket, he's good, but I can tell
Yeah,
from his one-on-one with Fat Boy, he's better when he's able to get to know the person one-on-one. There's this couples theme. You can't do anything with couples if you don't have individual people who know what they're doing to
yes.
talk to them.
So MTV, we need a Tony Gaskins Fix Our Life, where it's individualized, it's not couples. Okay, that's all we have for you guys tonight because we talked about everybody and the like thereof. So We are going to be back next Thursday for Couples Retreat episode 5. I'm going to give this one more chance because, as I said, this show is hard to follow along with, and it's hard with everybody's individual issues to really make it to where we look at it as a couples thing. It really is everybody else's individual issues. So we're going to try this again. Next week will be on my channel for Couples Retreat. So you guys make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell for the update when this live will be live. We will be back on Tuesday on my channel for um, Real Housewives of Atlanta. Will be on Mrs. Best channels for um, Summer House Martha's Vineyard. She's also doing a music live where she is going to be on the same day, the 31st, right?
It's the 31st to Tuesday. That's a Wednesday.
Is it a Wednesday? Do I have my days mixed up?
The 30th is Tuesday. I'm pretty
Okay,
sure.
sorry. Sorry, you guys. I am wrong because I thought I was going to be joining you on that live. But yeah, it is a Wednesday. I might still do it. I might still join you. I don't know yet.
Oh, I didn't know you were. I didn't know you were. You were. We did talk about
Yeah,
that.
we talked about this. Yeah, that's what I said. I was supposed to be joining you on this live. So yeah. So she didn't add me to the flyer, y'all. That's okay, but she still
I
loves me.
forgot. I just I'm so sorry. I forgot.
That's okay, y'all. And then also we are going to we still did not get a premiere day on Married to Medicine, but Dr. Heavenly said it's coming. So
We
we
do
will
know that filming wrapped finally.
yes, so
And
we're gonna do a two channel series where we're going to recap season I think this was season 9 or season 10 for them. I don't remember which one. We're gonna recap that entire season, and then I'm going to do on my channel a recap of the spin-offs and kind of give our opinions of why we think they did not work.
okay, good. Okay.
So that's how that's gonna work.
And then Love
So
and Hip Hop Atlanta, I guess we're doing too. That's back June 13th. So
yeah, that'll be like June 13th. So we'll keep you guys updated next week on how we're going to work that out because by that time we'll figure it out because we haven't figured that out yet. But that's what we got up and coming. Make sure you guys subscribe so you get to listen to music. I'm still trying to figure out my movie situation. Work with me, y'all. It is coming. I promise you. And you're not gonna want to miss it because I am absolutely a crazy person when I watch movies. So y'all not gonna want to miss that. Anything else?
no, I appreciate you for
All
having me.
right. And we do apologize for the buffering and us being lost on this channel and having to come back. You guys, I live in a very severe weather state. So sorry, guys, it happens. But thank you for your patience. We really appreciate it. You guys have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.